This is KGW News at Sunrise.
And I just grabbed the baby, pushed myself off him. He was alert. I was happy about that, but it's hard to be happy when the case of events.
This morning, we are hearing from the woman who rescued a 9-month-old baby after his parents and uncle were killed by a live power line. How she jumped into action, coming up in just a few minutes.
Of course, downed trees and power lines have caused major problems across the metro area. Once again, that situation happening last night. Tens of thousands of people again without power. I mean, those numbers came down, but this morning we're hearing from PGE, they're back up again. So we'll have the latest on local outages here in just a moment.
And the weather has caused some serious issues, but with that said, this morning we are also taking a look at how some of you are making the most out of this winter weather. Look at that, ice skating. Yeah, exactly, and pulling along a little toboggan too. Yeah, we'll have more of these types of videos throughout the show as well. We're so glad you are here. We made it to Friday. Wait, what?
He's chomping at the bit. He's taking, he doesn't like the alliteration we used, fun in the frost.
That wasn't frost.
That's what it was. Yes,
right.
a strong
Some producer
frost.
wanted to use a bunch of F words there.
And they
but
did.
It's really ice that we're talking about still this morning.
This is a family-friendly show, so those are the best F words they could find.
A little frost would be delightful after everything we've had, actually.
If it was just frost, we wouldn't have this many school closures. We do have school closures this morning. So real quick, we'll start right there before Rod gives us the latest on the forecast. Portland Public closed today. A lot of the schools on the east side also closed. We're talking about Centennial, Reynolds, those districts, again, on the east side, mostly closed today. 2 hours late, Vancouver, Evergreen, Battleground, all on the southwest. Why, I was waiting for that full screen to pop up. Thank you there. I know, it was all off of memory. Now I've got some help. Thank you, Director Patrick. Bottom line is this. If you're wondering about your school, keep an eye on that crawl on the bottom of your screen, and we also have them listed at kgw.com.
Well, I'm happy to tell you, I feel like as a forecaster, my work is finally done. And that's my way of telling you that in terms of meaningful precipitation and this blast of cold weather, we are through with it. Now, you can plainly see behind me, yes, we have some showers still moving south and north across the area, but this is very light scattered precipitation, not expected to have much consequence, and we should see this kind of diminish and become more widely scattered during the day today. But with that said, there's a little bit of moisture out there this morning. Temperatures are really the big deal, and even though this map shows you a lot of you above freezing, it does show Gresham 29, Happy Valley 28, Sandy 31, Westland 31, Battleground 32. The experience we're hearing from people is that it's still very icy and very dangerous all over the place. So not a lot of improvement there. We have dipped into the mid-30s down in Marion County, which is colder than you folks have been in the last couple of days anyway. Here are the other numbers. Still below freezing out in the Gorge, 24 in the Dalles, where they had the winter storm yesterday and last night. That is starting to improve weather-wise as well, but obviously still well below freezing. So we'll go a light shower mix scattered about this morning, kind of frivolous stuff overall, and then we'll keep a light shower chance in today's forecast. But 39 at noon, if we hit 40 today, which I think we have a chance to do, it would be the first time in a week. Here's Chris McGinnis.
And we will celebrate when that happens. All right, Rod, to your point about the temperatures, even though PDX is above freezing, like in my neighborhood in North Portland, we had fresh ice on our cars this morning, fresh ice on our sidewalks. The point is, it's real slick out there. The good news is the interstates are not in too bad a shape. This is I-84 out near 205. We had an earlier closure there overnight eastbound that has reopened. There you go. The icicles tell the tale. I-205 near Powell Boulevard. Traffic is moving along okay. This is out near Marine Drive. Real quick on the traffic map, we do have a crash on southbound I-5. This is down in the Aurora area. This happened a couple of hours ago, and still there are 2 lanes of southbound I-5 blocked approaching Donald Road. We'll keep you posted on this. So far, though, the freeway drive is good. Obviously, side roads and sidewalks and et cetera, et cetera. Very, very slick this morning, guys.
Thank you for that update. Let's get to some new video this morning. It shows just how much of a mess it still is out there in many spots. You can see right here a giant tree fell onto this apartment complex on the east side. This is Southeast 69th and Division. We still don't know if anyone was hurt by this. We did reach out to Portland Fire. They told us they don't have any other information that they can tell us about at this time, so we'll keep an eye on that situation on the east side.
And downed trees and power lines continues to cause a whole lot of issues this week into the last few hours across the metro area. Take a look at this video that viewer Steve sent in to us. I don't know if you saw that flash of light. He lives in the Pearl District. He got the video of, there it is, a possible transformer explosion somewhere on Portland's east side.
So Devin Haskins is covering this story for us this morning. Devin, I mean, PGE had its work cut out for it after last weekend. They did get those numbers down, but we've seen those power outage numbers jump back up again here over the last 24 hours.
Yeah, so kind of taking us back a couple of days when at the height of that storm, when the height of the power outages, I mean, we were up to about 160,000 throughout PGE customers. We saw that drop yesterday to actually close to 5,000 or just over 5,000. Well, with the freezing rain and ice last night, that crept right back up tenfold to 50,000, just over 50,000. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of those numbers that PGE and other power companies are reporting. PGE says that they have over 54,000 right now without power. Pacific Power, much less, much smaller, has about 2,500. Clark, just over 500. I want to show you some video that we want to show you. This was sent in from Gresham Fire. Thankfully, no one was hurt. This was in Gresham on South Troutdale at Stark. It's a live power line that had landed on top of a car with people inside. Now, we don't know how many people were inside the car, but again, firefighters say no one was hurt. PGE crews did show up and were able to de-energize that line, so everybody inside was able to get out safely. But yeah, just again, one of the many dangers out here with all these power lines that are freezing over, and including the ones I can see the ice kind of gathering above me right now here in southeast Portland. Streets still ice covered, everything, power lines, power poles, street signs, still ice covered. I've seen that power outage on PGE kind of climb, you know, from down to 52,000 up to 54,000 just in the last couple hours since I've been in this morning. Back to you.
And Devin will continue to update those numbers, of course, as we roll on here on Sunrise. We also have an update this morning for you on the 9-month-old boy who survived after his parents and uncle were killed by a live power line this week. He's out of the hospital after an overnight stay, and he's doing well. We also had a chance to talk to the woman who rescued that baby boy. We talked to her right there in a press conference yesterday. She remembers hearing a loud boom, she says, when the power line came down, and looked on as 3 family members slipped on the ice and fell onto that wire. She says she noticed the baby was still moving, and that's when she jumped in.
So I crouched down, I kind of slid, I used my hands to break my fall, and I didn't land on top of his father, but I kind of my hands landed on top of him. And I just grabbed the baby, I pulled him up, I was swaddling him, and I walked him up the hill.
Again, the baby boy's mother and father and his 15-year-old uncle were all killed that night when the live wire fell on top of their SUV. The father of the uncle and the mother tells us that his daughter was also 6 months pregnant.
In total, there have been 10 deaths reported in Oregon since Saturday when the first winter storm moved in. And with it still being so cold out, a lot of people have questioned why Multnomah County decided to close warming shelters. The short answer, current conditions don't meet the county's thresholds to keep them open. Staff at day centers say it's been tough trying to find warm places people can go.
I think this is indicative of a much greater problem. We shouldn't be scrambling like this in inclement weather. It is winter in Oregon. These beds should be available all the time, all year round.
When we asked the city if it could open emergency shelters on its own, we were told the county has to make those decisions.
All right, update from TriMet this morning. MAX service still shut down at this point. The Blue Line was up and running for a few hours yesterday, but it was suspended again because of conditions along the track. So limited shuttle bus service continues to run between MAX stations, but TriMet also anticipates that all of its buses are going to stay chained up today, so riders should still expect delays. We know buses are limited to 25 miles an hour when they're chained up. Trash collection, by the way, also likely to be delayed in Portland through next week as garbage companies try to catch up on missed collections. Garbage services were postponed for a lot of customers this week because of the weather. The city is asking people to set their bins out on their normal collection days. If the bins are not emptied, leave them where they're at. Just leave them right there on the curb. They'll also collect this Saturday if roads are safe to make up for missed collections during the week. They say that most recycling and compost collections will be delayed until next week.
So yeah, we've been talking about all the issues that the winter weather has caused, right? But some of you have found some beauty and a little bit of fun during the recent storms. You can see right there skating, towing a toboggan. Thank you to Stan for sharing a video like this one. We've gotten a lot of other ones too. Their group got the chance to both skate and sled on a street in North Portland. But man, I can't look at that sheet of ice. I can't believe they could just skate like that.
Well, that's what you
Actually,
do
I can believe. I was going to say, I can believe it.
I can tell you're enjoying the viewer videos this morning. You're
I was
captivated.
Well, picking up some pretty good speed. Toboggan ride was probably a lot of fun.
I mean, these do look like Midwest videos, right? We don't usually see those types of conditions here in Portland. All this ice that's lasted for as long as it has.
Not very often. It still looks like the rain that comes in Saturday night, Sunday is the first big push of warming, and then we do have much of next week still up into the 50s. So we're almost done with this, but clearly any thawing today is going to be minimal, and probably thawing tomorrow is going to be fairly minimal as well. Everything is canceled on the watch warning map, except for out here in the East Gorge and the Dalles. Winter weather advisory is set to go off at 7, meaning it will be expired at that time, and what's left of a winter storm warning in the East Gorge out into the Columbia Basin is set to expire at 10 this morning. That's probably going to be dropped before then because precip rates have really faded away. Park Rose yesterday. Remember yesterday was, while we kind of heightened the chance for freezing rain in many areas, we knew the bullseye would be the east side, mainly east of 205, and there's Park Rose coming in of 0.2 of an inch of new ice yesterday. Hood River 6 inches of snow from the storm yesterday. NWS, interesting, they kept track of the ice Tuesday, Wednesday. They had more icing yesterday. Their office is also east of 205. Anywhere from 3/4 to nearing an inch of total ice they had. Wow. And then if you're wondering, what was the coldest temperature? That was the low last Saturday morning. We were down to 15. That Saturday afternoon, that wasn't a record, but Saturday afternoon did set a record last weekend when it only got up to 21. That was the coldest high-low temperature for that particular day. Okay, we mentioned earlier in the show we've got still light precipitation coming up, and it's a mixed bag of rain or some freezing precipitation depending on where you are. But there's no storm here, and that's mostly very light precip that will be thinning out and tapering off during the day. So I think we have a lot of dry time coming on this Friday eventually. 37 in Portland right now. Kelso's above freezing. Salem's 35. Still 24 degrees out in the Dalles. We still will be dealing with east winds blowing from the gorge into East Multnomah, Multnomah County as well. Winds gusting today. I think generally the Trout Airport is going to be gusting 30 something and not 40. So light showers today, becoming few in number. The next push of rain comes in tomorrow evening. This is Saturday at 5 p.m. This is all rain picking up, and then Sunday's really wet. This does show a mixed bag in the gorge of ice and snow potentially. That's Saturday overnight. That's Sunday at 3:30 in the morning. And then here comes the rain up through Portland. We'll be well up into the 40s. And eventually there's going to be warming in the gorge Sunday, but it's tough to time all that out. We'll see rain, pretty rainy weather Sunday day, Sunday night, and then also into Monday as we'll be pulling out of all this cold weather. For today, low 40s in Salem, a few light showers, lots of dry time eventually expected, light southeast winds away from the gorge. Southwest Washington also hoping to get up to 40. Again, if Portland can get up to 40, something we have not done in a week. It's been 7 days. All right, 43 tomorrow. Again, not a lot of thawing, and any thawing today refreezes tonight in many areas. But then here we go, Sunday 40 in the morning, 46. Now we're totally out of the Arctic air. And then we have 51 Tuesday, 52 Wednesday, 54 Thursday. What'd you say, Rod? That's right, I said 54 on Thursday. We'll be back on a Friday morning.